for him. But let's move on to our transfer captaincy plans. We've spoken a lot about this already as well. So I'll go first. So here's my sorry lot. And I haven't made any changes yet. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing. But yeah, I've got McCarthy, Bolly, Alexander Arnold, and Jack Stevens. So I'm going for a Southampton double up over Burnley double up for everyone else. I've got Mahrez, who I'm quite pleased with. Fernandes, I'm not so pleased with. Salah, who potentially could be a captain. De Bruyne is there, and I've got Greenwood, Ings, and Vardy. And then on my bench, Pulisic. Lots of decisions for me here. I've got 2 free transfers. I don't mind taking a hit. I don't own Sterling. I don't own Kane. I want to get Kane in for Vardy, I think. And Pulisic may go, or Fernandes may go. It's going to be one of those two, I think. And Greenwood might be benched. Lots of decisions for me here. So I'm going to move on. Because it really is quite up in the air. I've got lots of decisions here, but I think Kane captain suits me and the position I'm in at the moment this season. Alex, a bit more exciting because you're in third. So this is your team at the moment, but I know you're not. Try and keep some back. Because the guys in first or second, and Magnus Carlsen might.
Or just throw them off. Just tell us complete lies.
Or just lie.
Completely.
Tell him you're getting Solanke in. Captain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, the problem is I actually haven't decided if I really go for it. If I go for it, I'll probably look for differential picks. So, as I was saying, in terms of transfer, maybe Fernandes to Son, because I don't think at least one of the people in front of me would have him. Maybe play Doherty and hope for a clean sheet somehow. So I do have a lot of defensive problems in this team. You can see Sheffield away against Inks, we talked about. We have Cresswell on a flag, so I'm not sure if he's going to play. And I have a choice between Doherty and Saiz for the third spot, because Lundstram doesn't play. So I could use a transfer on a defender, like Doherty to Robertson, for example. I talked about Robertson earlier, which again would be kind of a differential because Robertson is low owned. That's one of the options. The other is, I said, Fernandes to Son in terms of transfer. And the last one is I'm definitely going to wait for the lastmoment.com leaks. And if we get any information that De Bruyne is not starting or something crazy like that, I could always switch De Bruyne to David Silva or Mahrez. So this is also an option. In terms of captaincy, one last option I forgot is I have Antonio to Pulisic as an option. I have a feeling Aston Villa will try to do to West Ham what they did to Arsenal. So I've been really thankful to Antonio for the last few game weeks, but if I really want to go crazy, I could go for Pulisic because I don't think many people would have him in the top 10 in this tough fixture. In terms of captaincy, if I want to play it safe, I'll captain Sterling. Like, there's no decision to be made there. It's the obvious choice. If I want to go for a differential, my options basically are Aubameyang, Kevin De Bruyne, and if I get Son in. So one of the three. I like Aubameyang. As you said, if you're chasing, captaining Aubameyang is probably a good option. I think the argument for Son is exactly the same. If you're chasing, I think he has a 2-score potential with him, so assist and a goal or 2 goals. So I think them two are good options, and De Bruyne is always a good option if I decide to go slightly different and hope that De Bruyne beats out Sterling. But that's only if I decide to risk it, and I haven't decided yet.
Okay. Lots of options
exciting.
there, and
I'll be looking.
Best of luck. I will as well. I'll be really following your progress. So best of luck with that. Now, as this is your free hit team. Forget the podcast listeners for a second there. For the benefit of those listening, Alexander's team is Ederson, Egan, Cresswell, Doherty, then Fernandes, De Bruyne, Martial, Sterling, Antonio, Aubameyang and Greenwood, and currently Jimenez first sub there. So apologies podcast listeners, but hope you've been covered there. So as moving on to your free hit team. So do you want to just run through it? Do what I usually do for the benefit of the podcast listeners as well, but just run through it and tell us any sort of big issues you're facing.
Sure. So hopefully everyone's read my article on the site. If you haven't, then shame on you. But on that, I kind of go through that in a lot of detail. So on the screen now is a kind of almost alternative type wildcard, because there's two kind of things I'm considering. There's a free hit with Aubameyang in, and there's a free hit with Aubameyang out. And if I take Aubameyang out, I can spread the money around my defence a bit more. So essentially, if I leave Aubameyang in, because my team has got so many expensive attackers in it, which I'll come to in a sec, it basically means I've got to go completely budget at the back, and it means there's no room for Trent. It means I'm going with Kevin Long and Eric Peters alongside Martinez, and the best I could afford would be someone like Mendy at 5.5 or 5.6, who I think is a good pick if he plays. If I take Aubameyang out, then I can upgrade those, so I can get Pope in, I can have Trent, and I can do that anyway. So little plug to my article if you want to have a look at that. I'll give a bit more sort of in depth on that. The team we've got up on the screen at the moment though is Pope in goal, with Kevin Long, with Trent, with Mendy, and then Sterling, Silva, Mane, Antonio, and Fernandez or Martial, and then Ings and Kane up front. So you can, even with that team, I think that the top 7 of those are pretty strong. You can't really argue any, and that's what the free hit gives you, is that ability to get in sort of these really sort of well performing players. And what's nice is the fact that we've got people like Antonio and Ings and Pulisic around this kind of 7 million mark, which is, I think in the past has been quite a problematic price point, but it actually suits this quite well, because you can get sort of 2 of those in, and then you can really afford the expensive players like Kane and Sterling. And David Silva being 7 million has sort of come at a great time as well, because he's almost like a premium pick this week. So yeah, I've got decisions. I mean, there's players in my team who won't be leaving. So unless, let's just assume we don't get any team leaks or whatever. But Sterling, Silva, Kane, Ings, and one of Fernandez or Martial will definitely be in my free hit team. I then need to decide on Antonio, whether he stays or whether I go for Aubameyang, and then on my defence, which could be anything really. The only other thing I might consider is dropping Mane and rocking with no Liverpool attackers at all, because I do think Son could potentially be someone who goes under the radar this week, and the only way I could really get him would be if I dropped Mane or Salah. And I think there's potential for Son to match or outscore them, but like as Anna said, are they just going to turn up drunk, or are they going to be so hungover they can barely play? I don't know what's going to happen in that Liverpool game. It could be 5-5, it could be 0-0. I just don't know. Whereas the Spurs game has got to be a comfortable win for Spurs, surely.
Just to help you out a little bit, in terms of your bench here. So looking at Tanganga, Lamptey,
oh yes,
on the bench there, and Connolly 4.2. It's also worth noting, as Karen points out in the live chat, that Williams at Manchester United is 3.8. So if you do need that extra 0.1, so it's good for you, and all those else free hitting is get him in quick before his price goes up, because he's 3.8. That's rare.
It's actually pretty good, because you've got Brandon Williams, you've got Braithwaite as well at 4 million, who's starting for Everton, and you've got Nketiah at Arsenal. So you can actually get 3 of the cheapest bench players for your free hit squad and put the money everywhere else. So that's really handy actually.
Yeah, it is really handy. So this is actually a really good time to free hit. We will talk about that more in the final Scoutcast next week, in particular why I really wish I still had my free hit for this week, because I think it's a great week to free hit, even if it doesn't pan out, because you've got to look at the decision, not the outcome. But decision wise, your free hit team is great there, and lots of other ones I've seen, the permutations around it.
Thanks, Joe.
It's a really,
you've ever said to me.
Well, no, it's a really good week to free hit, because you've got really good teams against really rubbish teams, which is ideal.
Yeah.
And you've got loads of value to enable that as well. So you've got the likes of Burnley. You've also got Brighton as well, with the chance of a clean sheet. And you've got all these players that are really cheap that may actually even play, to fit around it. It's just, the stars have aligned, I think.
Watch it all go completely tits up, and all the players I took out do well, and all these guys do well. We just know it's going to happen.
I just wanted to remind everyone that a lot of the stats that we've been using from the membership area of Fantasy Football Scout, all the stats, season ticker, things like that, they've all been used there. Lots of invaluable information. So do have a look on site for that. Lots of information about that, especially because the next season probably around the corner. Hopefully we get at least a week good grace. I mean, I like football, but oh my god, I need a break from too much football at the moment. But in the meantime, just before I say goodbye, I just want to say, Alexander, again, good luck in third place.
Don't need it.
It's amazing. No, I don't think you will. We certainly don't need the skill, because you've got the skill. Maybe you do need the luck, but a little luck to get you over.
I'd love for you to do it.
I'd love to do it. Yeah, that'll be great. We're following you there. But in the meantime, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye all.